So yesterday I trimmed my beard and also my majestic beard by accident actually. I just wanted to cut a little bit off of it and I ended up screwing the symmetry. So yeah, it was difficult to cut and I ended up having to adjust it until it looked right. I should have just trimmed the edges over here and that's all. But that's fine. It's gonna grow back. I don't really care about it that much. And after that, I put some cream because I have some irritations around here, some dandruff, or I don't know what it is. So I put some cream, and usually I forget in the morning to wash it off, and I have a white beard, and that's exactly what I forgot to do today. So I shot this video twice. I was saying that I started waking up quite early. Well, for me, at 10 or 11. Today I actually woke up at 10:30, but I went back to sleep for another hour. I just woke up to have some water and go to the toilet and then back into bed. I'm going to, oh, I forgot the lens box. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, it's so nice to have a 35 millimeter where you can see all the things around me. So I've been out yesterday quite a bit just so I don't get bored. But today I'm not going to be out for as long. I'm going to be just, or maybe I should go out and shoot the meditations outside. I don't know. But unfortunately, this camera is a bit clunky to carry around. And it's not even that it's clunky, but I have to really. Cameras have a problem where you need to put them at certain settings to make it look good. And sometimes, if it's too much light, if it's sun outside, for instance, you have to dial in a certain thing that makes your footage just bad. It's called shutter speed, and it's for how long each frame of the video is actually a photo. 30 photos make a second, whatever. You understand. And for how long that like it takes that photo until it takes not the next, but it freezes the frame. And sometimes if it's like super fast, that's exactly what shutter speed is. It dictates how fast it takes that photo, how super fast. And it can take up to 1/4000. And for a normal video, you're supposed to use 1/60, the 180-degree rule. Don't ask me why it's named like that. And that makes motion blur and it makes your footage look nice, as opposed to where the footage is super sharp and still in every image and it looks like it has more frames. It doesn't smear when you go fast, like in real life. When you go like this, it smears. It makes, you know, it has a, but yeah, and you can't really add motion blur. You can, but it doesn't look that great. So it's difficult to achieve in post processing. Like a lot of things. A lot of things are solved by just fixing them before you do anything. Like if I wanted to talk about this, that's so great. Like a friend complimented me on the fact that uh, they understood and they got from me a lot of like a lot of things, but the most important thing is not a thing, it's a way of thinking. And that way of thinking, it's based on problem solving, and it's about the fact that you need to use all of your experience before you start to do anything. Use all of your experience, stick to a 2 to 10 minute um, like planning stage where you make your work easier and you can prevent the biggest problems. Because if you jump in to doing things, it will, but you don't solve the bigger problems. Just take a step back for 2 minutes. For me, it's like 30 seconds. Or I just think about the problem, I visualize it, I run into my mind and see exactly what I'm going to do next and what are going to be the steps. For some people, it's very useful to make a plan, to make a whatever an actual plan for the thing. But I don't plan it because I don't want it to be rigid, to be like oh, I want it to be like this. I want it to be, I actually honestly just optimize for efficiency and not making the work super hard for myself in the future. So I look around and I look at things and I try to understand what would make the next steps that I have to do after this task harder. And people don't work like that. People work like, I have this task and I want to make it as easy as possible for this task. But that means I'm going to make it harder for the next task and for the next one, and it gets progressively harder. So a small screw up at a first level can become a huge hindrance in the last levels. So be careful of those things. Small problems that you've done can really fuck up a project by the end. So that's my way of dealing with it. Like, I've understood that from the beginning when I started to film myself, and slowly I've understood more and more of how to do those things, how to solve small little problems that can really boost the efficiency of the other steps. Like, for instance, I started to record my voiceovers while I'm doing. So it's a live, kind of a live demonstration, instead of you film the thing that you're doing and then you spend as much time or more on making the voiceover. And it saves almost 100% of the time because you are now making a, but to do that you have to have the capabilities of speaking in front of the camera. Well, not really in front of the camera, but it's even harder than speaking in front of the camera because you have to do something while speaking and while actually thinking about how to do things and what you want to do. And it's not as if you are drinking from a cup of chocolate. It's more than that. It has to do with like complex skills that you have to do at the same time. Like explaining what you are doing and how to do it and what are the best practices is a very difficult skill. And to do that at the same time as you paint, that's even more difficult. And well, painting is a hard skill, a difficult skill to do and speaking in front of the camera and explaining voiceover and explaining what you are doing and how to do it, that's another hard skill, but put together it's almost an impossible task. But you can get better and better and better at both, and at some point you can merge them together so it can have like they can have a better out you can have a better output, and you can have a better result. And it seems like it's super easy, but it's never. It takes a lot of RAM, um, random access memory. I think it's RAM. Yeah. So the way you do it is you build the skill in painting enough so you can work at a lower. That's the easiest way to do it. So you work your first skill at a high degree, and then you go a few levels down, and then you work your level up of speaking at a high degree, and you go a bit lower, but not as low as the painting, so that when you connect them, it doesn't take more than 100% effort, so you don't mess up, so you don't make mistakes, because that's the point. It's about bandwidth, it's about RAM, because it takes all of your capacities. It's also GPU and CPU and RAM and everything. But whenever you build skills, you optimize for those things. It's like you are building another chip that is specifically designed to do that kind of rendering, that kind of, yeah, and it really helps. Like, instead of having a CPU and a GPU that are generally good at everything, you have also chips. You have also chips that are specifically designed for some tasks, and that's the only way I've seen of increasing your capacities, because, as we know, IQ and intellect is not really, you are born with what you have, and it doesn't really uh, change that much throughout your life. You might get a bit of wisdom, but that doesn't equate to IQ points. You have what you have, and you're gonna have it for the rest of your life. But what you can do is use that to create these small pockets of expertise that are these skills that end up using less and less resources to do, because you've done them so many times. It's You get through the stages of competence, from incompetence to competence, then unconscious competence, whatever they are. But they're super interesting, and it's the only way that you can uh, like really. I'm just I'm blanking with this word. Oh my god. You can become more than you are. You can become better than you were and you could be. You go above and beyond your capabilities. So it doesn't feel like that once you get those skills. It feels like, oh, I could have done this at any point. But for other people, it does look like magic. Like, whenever I was painting and I was doing something like, at a lower level, people were like, it's like you're playing. It's like you're not even thinking. Well, because I'm not. I just take a decision and then I execute the the decision that I took is lasting longer and longer and longer because all of the steps in between I already know. So I don't have to think. So I can really not even, I don't even have to focus on the thing that I'm doing because I've done it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times. So yeah, and the way you do that is by, I have title cards, by building proof. The more proof you have, the more competent you are, because your brain is going to also relax, and it's also going to get confident in that skill, and it's going to understand that you can do a lot of things, and it knows, it doesn't assume that you know how to do things, it knows how to do things. And there you go, another beautiful day has passed. It's not that late, actually. I don't feel tired at all, but I want to finish this video, edit everything that I filmed today, and just get rid of the work so I can watch some social media. I went for a big walk, well, two of them actually, with Sophie. We went far and away to have a lot of fun. We also went to buy some pizza again from that pastry shop, the 50% discount pizza. I didn't buy as much today as I did yesterday. So, plus I didn't eat it by myself. I eat it with a friend. So that was nice. And I meditated quite early, so I had the rest of the day basically free. So after the first 2.5 hour walk with Sophie, I went back home and meditated, and then went out again for a big walk. A big walk. And yeah, I feel quite good. I did a bit of cleaning again, and I still haven't felt bored. Like, I entertained myself quite a bit by training Sophie, and I also entertained myself a bit by cleaning up the house and doing other things like walking and being outside. So that's why I didn't feel a lot of this boredom. If I stay a bit more in the house, then I get way more bored and I get more productive than usual. So that's the way that I need to do it, because if I distract myself by going in on long walks, I don't really get, I get a lot of physical activity and I don't feel like doing anything else on top of that. So I might need to just sit around the house for a day or two or three to be a bit more productive. Or maybe I shouldn't go on a long walk in the morning. A long walk. A long guac in the morning. I should actually probably just go for a short walk and then uh, stay in the house and then do a lot of work, get bored, do a lot of work, and then I can go out later in the day. Because in the morning there isn't, well, in the on the weekends there's a lot of people outside, but in the during the weekdays people are at work, so there's almost nobody during the day outside. So I might as well just fill that space with work and doing things and being productive. And then I can finish work at 6 or 7 and go outside and have fun. Or I think I can just put a timer for an hour and do a well, do a timer for 45 minutes, go on a walk for 45 minutes, and then come back home. Instead of doing a 2 hour walk or 3 hour walk, I can just do a 45 minutes one, and that should be enough for to get some sun, to get some physical activity going. And yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it. I'm getting a bit more fat because I quit cigarettes, and I can already tell I'm eating quite a bit more than usual. So yeah, I might be looking into that. I might be also trying to lower the carbs. I've been eating a lot of carbs lately. And I think that's just about it. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.